The 36th day of high performance entrepreneur. Dream big, aim high, start small. When you start small, you'll be able to focus, you'll be able to master it, and you will be able to build a discipline around it. And believe me, once you do that, you are ready to be a scalable startup. And that is when your journey of a high performance entrepreneur starts. My dear friends, thanks for joining the series, and it's that support that is keeping us go. And today is about sales, and that is one of the strongest thing which you need in your business. And to take this session forward, I have Sakshi, who is assistant VP in Udan, and a very good friend of mine to take this session forward. The stage is yours, Sakshi.
Thanks, Kabir. Thanks a lot. And welcome everyone. Anurag, Fatima, Semi, Saiful, Ajay, welcome everybody. So let's start directly deep into the topic. So, since the topic is around sales, and in the starting of my, especially my business journey or entrepreneurial journey, you know, I came to know that sales is very important. Why? Because it is the ultimate source of revenue generation for a company to survive in the market, and it's the only revenue generating department or zone, you can say, for a company. So it's truly important. Plus, it also plays a vital role in building loyalty, trust, and a good relationship with customers. But as said, in my status as well, that the heart of the organization is their sales force. And when it comes to building a positive sales culture, we have a hardcore sales and marketing professional who have been in UAE for nearly 2 decades now and have worked with a wide range of clients from top Fortune 500 MNCs to SMEs in Middle East region. So, with red hearts and with a round of applause, I would like to welcome Mr. Vinod Panikar. Hi, Vinod. How are you doing today?
Hi, Sakshi. I'm fine. Amazing. Top of the world. Thank you very much.
Would you like to share something with us related to topic today? Or how has been your journey? A little bit introduction in your own style.
So, after my graduation, I got an opportunity to run an institute. And I come from a place which is full of industries. And I was a programmer by certification, means I did my graduation in computer science. In just 3 days, I got fed up creating Visual Basic reports, linking it with Oracle data backend. And I told my mentor that I cannot do this. I want to meet people. I want to talk to them. I can sell your product and service. He was doing AMCs, taking annual maintenance contract. And he saw the flare in me and he just said, okay, from tomorrow you are going out. And that's how it started. And I was like, what do you say? No, it gave me a lot of pleasure to serve. For me, sales means serving, and that is what from that time I started in 2001, I believe, and till now, the feeling is same. Sales is service for me. Thank you, Sakshi.
Thanks a lot, Vinod. So we have Tamara, Shabina, Zeen with us. If you guys, anybody wants to join us in our speaking panel, you guys can raise your hands and Kabir will take you up. So, Vinod, let's start with the session now. Let's start with the questions.
Sure.
Okay, so my first question to you is that what is exactly the sales culture? What do you mean by sales culture, and why do you think is it important in an organization?
A good question to the point. Thanks, Sakshi. Now, let me tell a small story. Imagine, or an analogy, imagine that you got up in the morning and you took a car, okay, took your car and you are driving. And while you came to the highway and started driving, you saw there is fog in the morning. So now you are very careful when you are driving. You're applying the brakes, you're watching the vehicles in front of you, and be very careful. And you're not optimizing or using the vehicle for its full potential, but driving slow and driving carefully. That is how it should be. But suddenly, after 5 or 10 minutes, there is a sunshine. And when the sun shines, the fog clears. And then you start racing or doing something which the car is meant to do, go at a minimum speed or maximum speed. What does sales culture mean? Sales culture should be like that sun. It has to clear the way for our salespeople to ensure that they can bring in business and add value. Why the organization was started in the first place. That is what sales culture means to me. And that is what I always keep saying to people. An organizational leadership, the sales leadership has to be like that sunshine, clearing the fog and not letting our salespeople put on brakes like every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Basically, not engaging them in lot of administrative tasks and keeping them in the company. Their job for main job is to be there, create value for the company and for the customers. So that is what sales culture for me means. And I personally, in last 20 years, have not seen a single organization which does this 100%. It may be because of the industrial age concept of demand supply, and there may be a lot of other things, but we need to improve a lot, because in future the market is really going to be very tough, and people who organizations which have positive sales culture will only succeed. That is what I personally think.
Amazing, Vinod. Yeah, I true believe, like, I still think I am very bad at sales, but I'm still learning. Okay, so, Vinod, my second question is also very to the point question to you, and it says that how do you develop a sales culture? And what are the signs, or what are those symptoms in the organization when you need to change your workplace culture, and you think that now it's the time to change the sales culture and it's not going great. So I want you to explain the good sales culture and also the bad symptoms which are there when it's the time to change that culture.
Yeah, so salespeople are usually I have two concepts for this. One is everybody is a salesperson. We are always selling something, our ideas to someone. But as a professional, what I believe is salespeople are one of the most optimistic people in the world. I will tell you why. For example, if there is an accountant, and I hope if there is some any accountant in this room, please don't mind. Just an example. If there is an accountant and that accountant had a fight with the spouse and got to work, no matter how his or her mind is, if the CEO or a CFO tells them to give a report, they will give a perfect report, right? They will take the statements, everything. It does not affect their work. But to a salesman, if they feel blocked, or if they feel pressured from any side, undue pressure, which is not positive, they will not be able to work and they will feel cramped down. That is why I say a good sales team is highly optimistic. You go anywhere in the world, these are the people out of all the 6 or 7 departments in an organization, that department would be making the most noise. That is one thing I can say. In 20 years, I can testify that wherever I have gone, the sales team or the sales cabins are the area where you can see the most laughter, the most noise. If there is no noise, then there is a problem. So I feel salespeople are the most optimistic people in the world. And if to identify, just talk to them. If they are not cheerful, then you definitely know there is a problem. Back to you, Sakshi.
Absolutely, Vinod. Absolutely. I completely resonate with your points. And before, asking you another question, I would like to welcome Rohit, Aniket, Drishra. Welcome to this audio room. If you guys have any questions, just feel free to raise your hand up and come in the speaking panel. Okay, so since we are talking about a successful sales team, Vinod, and how does it should be. So talking about an ideal successful sales team, or how would you describe a successful sales team, or what do you think makes a successful sales team? What are some of the strategies you can use to make a good successful sales team in your organization?
Thank you for that question. Now, I have this formula written in front of me everywhere I watch this. Profit equals to revenue minus cost. Okay, this is a simple formula that everybody knows in business. You can only make money when revenue goes up or costs go down. But the most ideal way is to increase your revenue, and that is done by the salespeople. Now, coming back to your question, how can we ensure that? Like what you say, what was the question, Sakshi? Can you tell me once again? Ask me once again.
Sure, Vinod. So my question: what are some of the strategies that you can actually use, or what are the strategies for creating a successful sales culture? You can take it like this way, or the other way around is how would you describe an ideal successful sales team?
Thank you. I will give you a very practical answer. And this was told by the CEO of Microsoft recently. Now, and I felt instead of explaining a lot of this, I will give this example because it suits perfectly. He was asked, he was giving an interview, and he was asked about there are a lot of hirings and firing being done, and how do you think what would be the future of employees in Microsoft and all this thing. And he said, we have changed the concept of hiring people now. Instead of asking, what can you bring to the table for Microsoft? Now we have changed the question and asking our employee, what can we do as Microsoft to help you? And I believe that is the first step that every team needs to do. Sit with the salespeople, understand what is their personal goals, okay, understand what is company's goal, and if you draw two circles, there would be an intersection in between. That is the sweet spot, and this would be different for each and every salesperson in the team. A salesperson who is not married, a salesperson who is married, a salesperson who is married with one kid, a salesperson who is married with two kids, they have different priorities in life. So that is why in future it would be more and more customized, like what you say, no, commission plans and lot of other things. It has to be one on one. Even if the team is 1000 people, there would be a team leader to understand five or six people's personal goal, and you keep your company's goal and find the sweet spot and start working on that. That can be a beginning. We can do a lot of things, but personally, if you ask me, this is something that works because this does two things. One is the sales team member feels valued, and they understand that the company is trying to understand our needs and requirement rather than saying, this is your target, you get it from the market. If you don't, we will find somebody else. So this is what used to happen 20, 30 years before. Now you don't do that. Now we hire the best and then make sure we have a continuous ongoing training and coaching session. Wherever they feel stuck, there should the manager or the leadership's job is to ensure that they help them and clear the blocks. Hope that answers, Sakshi.
Absolutely, Vinod. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot for your insights. Now, we would like to welcome Jasir. Jasir, do you have any questions for Vinod, or do you want to give some inputs to us regarding the sales culture?
Thanks, actually. It's nice to be back again. It's wonderful to see all of you. I'll start with some questions because sales is like I'm into marketing, but sales is and though it's a part of marketing, it's entirely different domain. And like we talk about company culture a lot, but going specifically into sales and sales culture, so I have a few questions. Let me just like ask Vinod if we can can you share an example of some examples from organizations that you've seen successfully transforming this negative sales culture to a positive one. And what was the main aspect that changed to reach there? If you can give a couple of examples, that would be great.
Thank you, Jasir, for that question. My last 7 to 8 years has been all about this. So I took over a company in the sense that company was going to shut down, and they asked me whether you can help us revive this. I went over there, and one of the salesperson who was also managing some operations, we had a lot of. I'll give an example. We had a lot of paper stock that was not being sold due to many reasons. Uh, the boxes that you like, what you say, eat the KFC and all this thing. It's a plastic coated box, and we had these reels from last 3 years which had expired but could be used. Now we were trying to tell our team that make sure you can sell this in the market. They were doing their best, but it was not happening. One day, I called one of the salesperson. I sat with him. I started talking to him on a personal front, and he had some requirement. I immediately called his daughter and gave her advice and all these things. The conversation led to having trust in each other so high that what didn't happen in 20 days, the other day he sold off 90 tons of paper. Like he went, sat, and he called all the peoples he knew. And I didn't tell him to do that particular day. I was telling him from last 20 days that we need to do this all. But then after 15, 20 days, I started one-on-one conversation with each people. I started to understand what is their individual needs and how the company can help them grow. So that was one example. The second was I joined a company where they told me that we had to let go of one salesperson who was doing less, means the least amount of sales. And I requested the company to give me just 3 months. In just 3 months, he has tripled his sales. And I have not done anything magical apart from just being personal with him, asking what is it that he needs in his life and how can I support him. So, leaders as coaches, managers as coaches is something which you will be hearing a lot nowadays. That is the only thing that I did with them. I understood what is their personal requirement, what is their need, and I asked them, where can I help you? I didn't tell them that if you're not able to do this, you can leave. I asked them, where can I help you? And I asked them, where can I support you? And they told me that they can help me with this. And I told them that I will do this for you.
Can you hear Vinod, or is it just
No, we cannot hear Vinod.
Okay, let me
Vinod?
check now.
Vinod, we can't hear you. Could you please just, leave the room and come in once again? I think it will be better there.
Now it is clear to me.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, Vinod, you can go ahead. Till the time Vinod is coming back, let's welcome Vishnu, Prasita. Hi, Prasita. Shweta, Detris, CA in the welcome everyone. If you guys want to talk to us, you guys can just raise your hand and Kabir will take you up. Yeah, Vinod is back. Vinod, can you hear us? Vinod, are you there?
I think again, Vinod, give it a try. It must be an audio issue. He'll go out and he'll come back. Huh?
Sure. Till that time, oh, okay, Vinod is back. Vinod, can you hear us? Try closing the browser once and join once again. Till the time Vinod is coming back, we have Shabina Zaidi with us. Shabina, would you like to introduce yourself and would share something about sales and everything?
Hi Swati, good evening. Hi Sakshi, good evening everybody. So, I am an author and I've recently written a book. And I think this topic about sales is so important for everyone, everybody out there. We really need sales tactics.
Am I
So,
audible now?
yes, Vinod is back.
Oh, sorry for that inconvenience. Yeah, please go
Yeah,
ahead.
no problem, Vinod. Yeah, Shabina is just introducing herself and we'll get back to you in a
Okay.
minute. Yeah.
So yes, I was saying that. Hi, Vinod. I was saying that it's such a nice topic that you are speaking about. We need sales in our lives. I'm an author, and even I am finding out strategies to upsell my book. So yes, over to you, Vinod.
Thank you, Shabina, and all the very best. When we are doing personal branding, I believe there is a formula there's a framework in advertising, AIDA, awareness, interest, desire, action. Uh, make people as much aware about your product. Attend universities, colleges, be online, go wherever you possibly can, so that people are aware of your books and your ideas. And then there will be an interest, and then there will be desire, and then of course there will be action. They will buy. The most difficult thing in this world is to get even a single dollar out of somebody's pocket. And sales is a skill where you can do that. It is not by tricking someone, it is by serving someone. To me, honestly, sales means serving. Thank you, and back to you, Sakshi.
Thanks, Vinod. Thanks a lot. I think after this session, I will connect with you personally and have a sales coaching with you. I really need it. Okay, so Vinod, Jasir, were you able to understand what Vinod said, or do you want him to repeat once again the answer?
I think the second, when you were, I think we got disconnected when you were talking about the second instance where you were talking to the employee and oh, what I really wanted to know is like what are the particular topics that you should when you're reaching out to an employee, sales employee, what are the things that you need to touch? What are the things that you discuss usually? And if you can tell us, like there are KPIs and this that we work with in sales. So, as part of a positive sales culture, what are the kind of KPIs that you? What are the things that should? What are the different aspects that should include while setting up an KPI for a positive thing?
Thank you, Jasir, for that question. So, what I do usually is I have two different types of meeting with my team. one meeting I would be touching on the relationship. It is more on building relationship, asking uh, how is their life going, and when I it is not about just lip service or something. It is genuinely meaning it. Like I take a lot of time spending at least 30 to 40 minutes with each of them. Where are they in their life? Kids going to school, maybe they need to take like what you say in between a vacation, or I try to understand all those things and create like what you say no a visual map that okay, so this person, if they have to drop their kid at 9 o'clock in the morning, and our office time is 9, so they will not be able to come. So all those things are there. That would be the first meeting, and I will try to help them as much as possible, support them. The second meeting is purely based on metrics. Who are our like what you say no what is happening this particular week, and what are we going to do. And believe me, after I start with the personal meeting and then go to the this happens on two separate days, doesn't happen on a single day. After this, what I have observed, they actually give more than 100% to their job, because they know they have a manager or a leader who understands them completely. And to my surprise, they go out of the way, even working on holidays, Saturdays, Sundays, because being a salesperson, like even though I tell them take holidays and all, if they get a call or if they see a opportunity to have lunch or dinner or tea with their customers, they just do it without thinking. So I'm able to create a culture where which is not time bound 8 to 5, because we need to understand that in this today's world it's a 24/7 world. So in between, if you have to go and take care of your home, please do that. In between, on Sundays, if you have to work, do that. But ensure that whatever you are telling me, that for example, these are our goals. Now, one more thing that I tell my team is, you cannot fail in sales. I will repeat that: you cannot fail in sales. We do evidence based leadership, whereas everything is metric driven. So when I take the data and see that this is your particular target, so these are the activities that are required to reach that target. So I focus on the activity and the successful completion of that particular activity. I don't talk on results, because that you means you will be talking after a month or after a week, but every day you can talk on the activity and where do they need your support. It is not micromanaging, it is purely understanding, are they able to do it like what you say no execute it successfully, or do they need my support. I hope that answers Jasir.
Yeah, yes. Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, yes, I understand. Right.
Yeah, so when it comes to like what is people and process, be very
Right.
hard and diligent on process and build relationship with people. That sales team.
Exactly. And the KPIs part, you work on it as usual, right?
Yeah, that
Or are
is
there
like what you say
points
now.
points that you need to consider, or just apart from the the empathy or the human aspect of it? Are
Yes.
there any other points that you'd like to?
No, the rest all would be the same industry wise, whatever we have, like what you say, no, the call to appointment ratio. For example, if you are in a B2B, if you have like what you say, call to contact ratio or email to contact ratio, contact to inquiry ratio, inquiry to opportunity means opportunity to purchase order ratio, in purchase order to repeat order ratio, all these things that are all normal in every industry. It would be slightly different, but the normal KPIs, 5 or 6 would be there. And I encourage everyone to have a scoreboard. Sales people are very highly competitive people, so have a dashboard up somewhere in your like what is in a team, and let them see where they stand. Have a like in our company, we used to have, in the previous companies we used to have a car target is there, suppose for 100,000. So one week they reach 25,000, we'll keep the car there, over there, any form. Like you go to any car service station, they use this, right, for managing all the process and all. Use your innovation. If your industry is airline, use some plane or whatever you want. But salespeople love scorecards and scoreboards, leadership dashboards and all. have that. It really drives them. Back to you, Jasir.
Jasir, you're on mute.
I think there may be a glitch, so we can go to Shabina. I think Amin is also facing a similar glitch there. So I think
Yeah, Amin is also facing similar, Kabir. Shabina, do you have any other questions for Vinod?
Yes, Sakshi. So we know, as you know, that I am an author, and in sales we say that we don't sell a product, we sell a concept. So you are a sales coach, and I come from an engineering background who doesn't have any idea about sales. Would you recommend some books or resources to follow to become better at sales? And because I don't have any iota of knowledge about sales, so any books or resources from your side? Because I am a voracious reader, and till yet whatever I have learned or whatever I've transformed myself, it is through books. So I would be glad if you suggest some books to me also, or courses.
Thanks, Shabina. This is a question which many, because I have been coaching engineering company where they have some 35 engineers, and it's the same challenge they have. They are very good at product and all this thing, but when it comes to interaction, they face a little bit challenge. But I will tell you one thing. Uh, yes, for concept wise and framework wise, I have read and almost every concept that has been written on sales, because I am also a voracious reader. It is more like reading how to swim, right? You need to, if your height is like what you say 5.5 meter, you should not go in a pool which would be higher than that and all this thing. What I would suggest is start doing some, like what you say, no, use the sales technique and books. I will give you frameworks. There are 50 universities in US on sales which teaches sales, and they all use Neil Rackham's spin method. Okay, SPIN. So the book also is named by that. You have Sandler's system. It is one of the biggest sales training companies in the world. Sandler sales system. There are a lot of books from Sandler. You can read any book from Brian Tracy. That is very simple and easy to understand. And Jeb Blount. There are a lot of authors. Tom Hopkins. These are people I used to consume like 10 years ago, continuously for 3 hours, 4 hours. Negotiation. There are techniques like BATNA, ZOPA, Zone of Possible Agreement, and a lot of, like what you say, books are there. But start with Brian Tracy, I would say. Spin is a good this thing, and Sandler system. So once you do that, you get a clear idea. But I would say jump in the water. Jump in the water. The next person you meet, tell them that you are an author, like what you say, no? And you would like to get a public engagement, or if they, wherever they are working or in a school or university, you would like to go and speak. And if you get an engagement in a university, go and speak with 20 or 30 books, give them discount of 20% and get it sold. And all the best. Hope that answers, Shabina.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Vinod. I think I've read a book by Brian Tracy, Eat That Frog.
It's on time management, yeah.
It's on time management. Thank you, Vinod. And I've noted down all
Thank
the books that you've said. Thank you.
Thanks, Shabina. Thanks, Vinod. So we have other members in our listening panel: Kundagarji, Sai Ritvik, Atul Kant. Welcome, everyone. So we have Chaitanya with us on the speaking panel. Hi, Chaitanya. How are you doing today? And do you have any questions for Vinod or some insights for us?
I just joined, so I don't have any questions. Vinod, nice to meet you. Thanks for sharing your insight. But one thing I can do, Shabina, there's one small addition to what Vinod has already mentioned. Do you think I can go ahead, Sakshi? Hello?
Yeah, Chaitanya, please do add on.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would.
So, Shabina, one thing you could do is, I don't know how active you are on LinkedIn, on Twitter. So there are some of these celebrity writers on Twitter. They have a certain strategy in which they kind of take a small intercept of your book, excerpt of your book, and then write a big thread about it. And towards the end, they conclude with the offer of your book. And they are managing to sell. Probably that can also be something that you can follow to kind of swing your fortunes upwards. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitanya, for adding value. Thank you.
Thank you, Chaitanya, for giving your insights and adding that. Vinod, what's your take on that? Just
Anything that can bring in sales, just try it. Have a design thinking mind approach. Prototype, fail fast, do things, check out. That's my approach also.
Yeah, Vinod, surely. I guess everyone in the audience and in the speaking panel will surely try that. Okay, Vinod, let ask you some fun question because the very serious conversation already going on. So tell me, what is your least favorite part of the sales process? Which do you think is the least favorite? And you're like this is something I hate.
You're muted, Sakshi. You're on mute. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So I was saying, let's ask you a fun question. Like, just tell me, Vinod, like, what is the least favorite part of the sales process? What do you think is your least favorite part that you kind of dislike or
That would be reporting to the management. That was like what is, that is something I feel sometimes because they say that anything that can be shared on an email should not be discussed in a meeting. I am a person who very strongly believes a meeting should have a strong agenda and it should lead to a next step. I have seen many companies where meetings are just of checking what is happening, which can be done through email. But because you are an employee, sometimes you have to just close your eyes and follow that process and be in the system. So, right. So I have an interesting concept over here that a system needs average people. And this is what my mentor had told me that once you are in a system, you have to follow it. A system does not tolerate below average and above average people. And many of you might be thinking why? Because an above average person becomes a threat and a below average person also will not be like what you say no very useful to the company. So if you follow the system and you want to make your changes, don't do it in a very like what you say no pronounce it in a big way and do it. Understand the requirement, what is the change that is to be needed. Talk, build relationship with each department and go one by one. So to me, like there were two companies where it was very challenging for me because I felt that 2 hours I could have been with my team or with some customer or even with my family. So that's the only time in 20 years there were two companies, 4 or 5 years that one day meeting I felt never led us anywhere. It was only of report taking, and I don't believe in report taking meetings. Anything that can be shared by email should not be discussed in a meeting. That is my personal belief. Back to you, Sakshi.
Oh, nice, Vinod. Absolutely, and I do agree with your point when you say that when you said that employees sometime as an employee have to close their eyes and follow whatever the employees said. But I just wish my employer is not in there in the listening panel. Otherwise, I'll be killed tomorrow. Okay, so coming back to the okay, Kabir sir, do you have any questions for Vinod or back to you, Kabir sir?
Uh, Rather than question, I'm just sitting as a listener today to study a lot from Vinod. Uh, continue. I'll come up. I am here. So it is more to learning. Like whenever I sit, so he has been a friend for me for a long time. So whenever We talk like it's a lesson. Every call to him is a lesson. So I'm honored to have him here. But apart from that, on part of Amin, like he's a startup from, he's having some glitch on his behalf. I'll ask one question. So he's a startup. He's a student studying in the final year in college. So Vinod, what all tips do you have for the startups or students who are studying and doing the startups? How to focus on sales? Some tips for the young generation.
Now, one thing again, which one of my friends had suggested me, who is very successful in his venture, as I know that Amin is a student and he is expert in certain thing, right? So I would ask him to start training or giving free lectures in his college for regarding this or even outside. There are two reasons for this. One is once you start training on a subject, in a very short time, you will be perceived as an expert in that particular area, right? And this is what, even if you join any organization and you have a flair for training, I would say that I would request you that start giving trainings free or set up something in your company that you want to share information or create a environment where people who have expertise can share information. So that is the first thing that I would tell Amin, that immediately create a small, like what you say, it can be just 15 minutes lecture of what he is doing, how he got that confidence, right? The origin story, we say that every entrepreneur or every business has an origin story. Create that origin story and share it with your peers first, get their feedback, then slowly nearby community and start doing in that particular way. So in few months, people will start perceiving you as an expert. They will ask you questions. Then when you start answering that, that is when true learning happens. In today's world of chat GPT and bard, you ask anybody today on any topic, like for example, if I tell Kabir tomorrow, can you speak about rocket launch or space, you can take all the notes and tomorrow you can present me 10 slides, right? But it is only when I start asking questions, then you will face the problem. So you need to be expert in whatever you are doing. So whoever, in whichever field you are, like Jasir is a LinkedIn expert, open yourself for questions and let people ask you the most toughest question. So I mean, this is the best age for you. Go out and create a 15 minutes or 30-minute speech. Start giving it to your peers first, to your class and to the juniors, and take as many questions from them. First, establish yourself as an expert. The next thing will follow automatically, right? The next thing we will say, but first, I would say that focus on this first. I hope that answers Kabir.
Yes, yes, that's very good advice, Vinod. I think that will help escalate their brand or bring them their brand, his brand authority also. He has started doing few of the things, but thanks, Vinod. Back
Most
to you,
welcome.
Sai.
And thanks, Kabir. Thanks a lot. So we have Sahil sir with us, Aniket with us. Aniket, Sahil sir, do you have any questions for Vinod? You guys can come up, raise your hand, and be in the speaking panel. Till then, Vinod, I have a question for you. I have one more question with you. Okay, so creating a or building a sales culture is still a later stage, and it comes later. What's your take on hiring salespeople? What are some of the questions a leader or an interviewer should have in its mind to actually evaluate the salespeople? So, at the time of hiring, what are some of the questions you would recommend the leaders to ask their sales interviewees?
Now, this will differ from industry to industry, but I can tell you what you need to look for. The one of the past CEOs of HubSpot, it was Mark Roberts, I think. So he has written a book also, Sales Acceleration Formula, and he teaches sales in Harvard Business School. And he was the person who made HubSpot a multi-million or multi-billion dollar, like what you say, no, a company. He was an engineer who came into sales, and he created a environment, positive environment for salespeople. So what I will, before that, I will give you a research from Gartner Sales. What they say is 65% of the salespeople do not meet their quota. Like whatever the assigned target is there, 65% of the salespeople in the world usually do not meet their quota. Okay, so that is one fact. Now, second, when it comes to hiring, usually what happens is we only look at the past history, the past success, and past failures. And when a company needs to hire, usually they are in a little bit hurry. Especially in this part of the world, I have seen they only hire because here every person's has extra cost. For example, their visa, medical, and all these things. So I personally, my personal observation, I don't know whether you will agree, that one person is usually doing a job of 2 or 3 person over here in this part of the world, in Middle East, because every employee, it's not that easy that you can come and go. So what happens is people want to hire fast, but to me, there should be at least 3 rounds of interview. And out of that, one should be in writing to get and understand. Like there should be a lot of questions related to sales question, SQ, we say that. It needs to, I don't need them to write, give me the correct answer. But what I am looking at the end of this 3 part interview session is, are they coachable? That is the number one thing which Mark Rogers had said we look for sales hire. Personally, 2 months ago, I hired someone who claimed that they are a great success in the market. But when I was sharing some new idea and doing this, their mind was completely blocked. So one thing I understood was they were not coachable, right? They should be coachable and they should be curious, because or else what happens is a person from one specific industry, when they go to other industry, they will get stuck. For me, if you understand the basics of sales and you understand the process of sales, no matter which industry you go, in 6 months you can have the product knowledge, right? You may not have any knowledge about a certain industry, but if you go there and they have a good sales onboarding, the product knowledge can be transferred in 5 months, 6 months, or even sometimes it may take 1 year, depending upon the industry. But if you have the sales process and the sales skills with you, I believe the most important thing is you should be coachable. Like in this DNA world, diverse, novel, and adverse. Right? Or somebody had mentioned about VUCA world, the volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. It came from the military term. So, in an uncertain world where things are continuously changing, you need someone with a strong mindset. So, I usually look at the mindset. The skill set can be developed. So, for me, I am asking questions related more to the failures. How did they like cope with the previous failures? That are the more main focus. And are they coachable and are they ready for new ideas? Because after a year, for example, in if it is in IT and all, you may be developing products every 6 months or every 1 year, right? For my wife works for a company which is one of the major, like what you say, aggregators over here. So every 3 months, 6 months, they are launching some products, some features, adding a lot of things, right? So you need people like what you say, no, who are able or being just say that they are adaptable. That is the only reason why human beings are surviving till today, right? They say that when there is a nuclear war, only cockroaches will be left. Because these, they can adjust under any time, like what you say, no? They can manage anything. But human beings have feelings. We have a lot of things to consider. And while taking an interview, it is very visible whether this person is coachable, whether this person, like what you say, no, have actually gone through a failure. So this is what I personally look into. I don't look at success, because success can be industry specific. If you are a good manager in a bad industry with bad economics, you may not be able to perform well. But if you are an average manager in a booming industry, anything that you do may look like success. You need to be objective. That is where evidence based leadership or evidence based management comes into play. I hope that answers Sakshi.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a detailed and insightful response, Vinod. Thanks a lot. So, I just have a last question for you, Vinod. And especially it's because I relate with it. A lot of people, including me, have this, syndrome called LKK, which is log kya kahenge? What will people think while doing sales? So, how do you tackle with this kind of syndrome? I hope you get the question.
Yeah, in right as you rightly mentioned LKK, I usually say that दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग. So
Exactly.
that is there. So it usually like what you say. No, if you read the work of Robert Keegan, is a Harvard professor. He has written that we have three different types of mind: social mind, self-authoring mind, and self-transforming mind. So the social mind is usually till like what you say, no, till from childhood till 15, 16 years or 18 years, you can say, where we live for society, right? We are part of society, society is part of us. We are looking for validation from our parents, from our teachers, from our employees, all this thing. Then there is a time when you become your own author. You say, no, I will do this, okay, no matter what. But again, that is not the ultimate form of manifestation. The ultimate form is self transformation. That is when you will not worry about all this thing, because when you are crystal clear on your life goals, right, you understand that you have some means Aristotle had said that human beings are goal seeking animals. If you have a clear goal in life, for example, that in 10 years I want to achieve so and so, I did this and my life changed. Like even though 100% was not like what do you say done, 15 years ago I attended online gym. Just a second, there's a fire alarm.
Is everything fine, Vinod, at your end?
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So it's a residential building. Somebody keeps cooking something amazing, and this happens. It's okay.
Okay, okay. Just wanted to
So
be sure.
yeah, so this is something which we have to, like what you say. No, it is up to us. It is not up to others. The day you feel that it is up to me and not up to others is the day you, like what you say, no, transform yourself from a girl to a woman or a man, a boy to a man, I would say. And I have personally gone through that. And you have to do that. You have to make that decision. The choice is with you. Victor Franklin says that, like what you say, no, between stimulus and response lies a choice, and that choice is with you. So when you feel that kya kahenge log or that type of symptom, you tell yourself it's my choice, it's my life, and I am doing good for myself. I hope you will do that.
Surely, surely, Vinod, I am definitely gonna do that. And yeah, I love this line which you said, choice is yours. Just sit back and overthink and don't do anything, or just be little shameless and just go on. I do agree. Okay, so yeah, back to you, Kapil. So
No, we can have parting notes from all. And today, Jasur will end the session. Sakshi, you can ask parting notes from all.
Shabina, can we have parting thoughts from you? What are your parting thoughts?
Sakshi, there is one more speaker coming up. You could just ask her, and after that, we can go. I think we have 6 more minutes.
Sure, 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 Gabi. Hi, Tamara, Matthew, how are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. I'm well. Thank you. Hope you all are doing well also. I just popped into the room and I didn't want to leave without saying hi to everyone. So I'd like to share my thoughts on the topic. I've been in sales myself as a sales manager and a coach, and I believe if you're getting started in sales, as well as if you are in sales from a long time, there is one thing that can make all the difference between success and failure. Of course, there is, so many ingredients to this, but I feel like this is the one key that everyone has in their own hand. And I want to just shed some light on this, which is, how do you self motivate every day? Like, how do you prepare for your day before you even walk into that office, so that once you open that door, like, you're the queen, you're the king, like, you rule, you own it. So I believe self motivation is something that starts way before we enter our workplaces, way before we take a call or we make a call, which is like, how's my posture? Am I smiling? Like, the other person on the other line will know, this is all these small things come back to how motivated am I, and that's something we should all work on, because each of us works a bit different, and find out what gives you joy, what motivates you, and bring that into all of your preparation and your actions, so that whenever you go for a call, or you open the door for a customer, or you're invited for a dinner, whatever it may be, am I going in with all I can be? Am I motivated to do this? Am I prepared? That is half job done. That's all. Thank you all.
Absolutely, Tamara. Thank you so much. It is much needed. Yeah, it is much needed. And I guess there's a book called Question Are the Answers, which mentions the hand gestures and the facial movements that you should have while being a sales professional. So thank you so much for your insights.
Thank
And
you,
hope,
Tamara. I would like to add some quickly.
sure, Vinod.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tamara, for bringing that. And that is what, like, I have framework where the second one is this, what you just said, that the first sale is always made to yourself. And that is where self belief comes. Like, you need to be sold on the product or service, only then you can get out of the house. Before that, like, I always tell everyone, the first sale is always to your own self. And that is where self belief comes in. And you have put across very nicely and added non-body, verbal and non-verbal language. Thank you very much, Tamara. Back to you, Sakshi.
Thanks a lot, Vinod, for your take on that. So, Vinod, can we have just last thought from you on sales or sales culture, whatever you wish to? Last parting notes from you.
Yeah, I will end with the same story that I started. That imagine a car is driving on a highway. There is a lot of fog, and the sunshine comes, and the sun comes out, shines, and clears the fog. The job of a organization or a sales leadership is to be that sunlight and clear the way for the salespeople. Let them be in the market, create value for them. So that is what I would like to say. And like, sales is one of the salespeople are the most optimistic people. The first sale is always made to yourself. We didn't touch on more detail, but you don't sell, customers buy is my second point. So focus on the buying journey, not on what you have to sell. That I would like to say. And enjoy selling. If you have any hesitations, start reading books, like Shamima said. And if you want to contact any one of us, Kabir, we are always there to support. Thank you very much. And back to you, Sakshi.
Thanks, Vinod. Thanks a lot. It was just a wonderful session on sales. Like I always found sales as little boring, but this is the first event I'm enjoying sales session. Thanks a lot for that. And Shabina, can we have parting thoughts from you?
Yes, actually, I think this session was wonderful with lots more of examples by Vinod, and he made it so clear. Everything was so clear, and it was understandable. So now I'm not going to be scared of sales. And in the end, I would just say that I've learned from this session that people buy with their hearts and justify with their heads. So thank you, Vinod, for this session, the amazing session. Over to you, Sakshi.
Yeah, thanks, Shabina. Yeah, it says that people will trust you, and that's what matters a lot. So it says that people will only buy from you when they trust you and then they understand you. It's very important that to connect with the customer and then sell the concept or the whatever concept you are selling. Absolutely. Joseph, can we have parting thoughts from you, please?
Uh, Thank you, Sakshi. Uh, I think I'll be ending the session today. So, um, if you're all done speaking, I'll wrap up the session. Kabir, if you have any thoughts, otherwise I'll end the session.
It was a great session, Jasser. I think we are late, so back to you, Jasser.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us. It was day 36 of the 100 days. Come a long way. More to go. And so, as we wrap up today's enlightening discussion on building a positive sales culture, I want to express my sincere thanks to our exceptional speaker, Vinod. Thank you so much, Vinod, and hope to be seeing more, hearing more from you. Thank you for sharing those invaluable insights. And I'd like to say that leadership, as we learned today, plays a very important role in shaping a positive sales culture in the organization. So it's not just about hitting the targets. We learned that it's about fostering an environment where teams thrive, innovate, and deliver exceptional customer services. And that should be, as Vinod mentioned, should be fueled by understanding um, more than and that personal touch that you should bring into the organization. And the journey to a positive sales culture is, what I understand, it's ongoing. It's a continuous process, and it's about like in most areas in an organization, it's about continuous learning, adaptation, and commitment to the core values that you have as an organization. So I encourage each and every one of you to take away the wisdom shared today and implement it in your leadership roles. Let's be that change makers in an organization. Creating the cultures that where the teams are not just motivated and inspired, but they move on to do great things. So with that, we'll come to the end of today's session. Thank you all for attending the session. We'll see you all again tomorrow with another uh, topic. Um, so with that, I'll closing the session with the count of three, two, one. Bye, everyone.